Hello, and welcome to the weekend edition of Channel 5 News. I'm Jessica Navarro, and today we'll be covering.
Stop! The director interrupted from behind the camera. His tone was sharp, almost cruel. Jessica, this isn't amateur hour. Your accent is distracting. People won't take you seriously. You sound unprofessional. The words hung in the air like a heavy cloud. Jessica blinked back tears, refusing to cry in front of him. Jessica stepped off the plane at Orlando International Airport in the United States of America, clutching Alex's small hand tightly. The chatter around her, the airport announcements in a foreign accent, and the signs in a language she barely understood felt overwhelming. She had dreamed of this moment, leaving behind her small village for a land of opportunity. But reality was starkly different. Her chest tightened as she struggled to communicate with the taxi driver. "Ma'am, where to?" the driver asked again, irritation creeping into his voice. Jessica fumbled with her map, pointing to the address of a small apartment she had rented online. "Here, please," she said, her words heavy with her native accent. The driver sighed but nodded, speeding off into the bustling city. Her new home was nothing like the brochures. The tiny one-bedroom apartment smelled of dampness, the walls peeling, but Jessica smiled for Alex. "See? Our new castle," she said, her voice breaking slightly. Alex grinned, oblivious to her struggle, and began exploring the space. Jessica sat on the worn couch that evening, staring out the window at the city lights. Her dream of being on TV seems farther away than ever. Still, she whispered to herself, "I will make this work." The next day, she stepped into her new job at the TV station. Her role was behind the scenes, assistant to a demanding director known for his temper. Jessica greeted him nervously. "Good morning, sir." He barely glanced at her. "Coffee, 2 sugars, no milk. Don't mess it up." Her hands shook as she prepared his coffee, each mistake earning her a glare. When she accidentally spilled some on the table, he muttered, "Figures. Can't even manage this." "Huh." Jessica bit her lip, swallowing the retort rising in her throat. This was her chance, and she wouldn't let anyone take it away. But as weeks turned into months, the director's jabs about her accent grew sharper. One day, in front of the entire crew, he mimicked her pronunciation of schedule, earning laughter from everyone around. Jessica felt her face flush with shame. She wanted to disappear. That night, as she tucked Alex into bed, she whispered, "Mama's trying her best. Okay?" He hugged her tightly. "You're the best, Mama. Don't let them say otherwise." Jessica cried silently, the weight of her struggles threatening to crush her. Little did she know, this would be the start of a journey that would redefine not just her life, but also the lives of millions. Jessica woke up the next morning with her mind replaying the humiliating laughter from her colleagues at the station. Every mocking smirk, every dismissive word, felt like a dagger twisting in her chest. But she had no choice. She needed the job to survive as she walked into the studio. Her shoulders squared and determination etched across her face. The whispers began again. "Did you hear her yesterday? She said schedule instead of schedule." One crew member snickered, his voice low but loud enough for her to hear. Jessica ignored them, forcing herself to focus on the clipboard in her hand. Her task that day was to organize the script for the noon broadcast, a seemingly simple task that had become her only solace. It was her opportunity to learn from the anchors she admired. But her optimism was short-lived. "Jessica," the director barked, his voice booming across the studio. "Are you deaf? Or just incapable of understanding basic instructions? I said I needed these notes half an hour ago." Her stomach twisted, and she rushed to hand over the papers. "Sorry, sir. Save it," he snapped, snatching the notes from her hand. "No wonder you're stuck doing grunt work. You're not exactly anchor material, are you?" The comment hit harder than she cared to admit. She had told no one at work about her dream of being on camera, but somehow it felt like he could see right through her. That evening, Jessica sat in the break room, staring at the audition notice pinned to the bulletin board. The station was looking for a new host for their weekend show, and despite her lack of confidence, Jessica felt a flicker of hope. Maybe this is my chance, she whispered to herself, tracing the edges of the paper. Her coworker, Maria, a kind-hearted woman who had often defended Jessica from the director's tirades, walked in. You're thinking about auditioning, aren't you? Jessica nodded hesitantly. You should, Maria said firmly. Don't let him or anyone else tell you what you can't do. You've got something special, Jessica. Encouraged by Maria's words, Jessica decided to give it a shot. That weekend, she dressed in her best outfit, rehearsed her lines, and stepped onto the audition stage. The camera lens stared back at her, unblinking and unforgiving.
Hello, and welcome to the weekend edition of Channel 5 News. I'm Jessica Navarro, and today we'll be covering.
Stop! The director interrupted from behind the camera. His tone was sharp, almost cruel. Jessica, this isn't amateur hour. Your accent is distracting. People won't take you seriously. You sound unprofessional. The words hung in the air like a heavy cloud. Jessica blinked back tears, refusing to cry in front of him. But thank you, Jessica, he said dismissively. Next, she walked out of the studio, her heart heavy with disappointment. The humiliation stung, but more than that, the realization that her accent, the part of her identity she couldn't change, was being used against her. When she returned home, Alex noticed her red eyes and crestfallen expression. What happened, Mama? Jessica forced a smile. Just a bad day at work, sweetheart. Alex frowned. Did they laugh at you again? She hesitated but nodded. Yes, but it's okay. I'll find another way. That night, as Alex slept, Jessica sat by the window, staring out at the city lights. She had sacrificed everything to give her son a better life, but every door seemed to close before she could step through it. Little did she know, the door that would open for her was one she'd never expected. A door built by her own determination and the unconditional love of her family. For now, though, Jessica allowed herself to feel the weight of her broken dream. Tomorrow, she will rise again. Jessica's job at the station became unbearable after her failed audition. The director seemed to take perverse pleasure in undermining her confidence. He often called her out in meetings, emphasizing her shortcomings in front of everyone. Jessica, he sneered during one morning briefing, do you even understand the difference between effect and effect? Or is English just not your thing? The room erupted into muffled laughter. Jessica clenched her fists beneath the table, swallowing her pride. By the end of that week, things came to a boiling point. Jessica had been assigned to organize a press release for a major client. She had poured her heart into the project, triple-checking every detail. But during the live broadcast, a minor typo slipped through, a mistake entirely unrelated to her. The director seized the opportunity to lash out. Unacceptable, he roared, storming into the editing room. You've embarrassed this station. Do you even know how much damage this could cause? Jessica tried to explain, but he wasn't listening. Enough, he snapped. You're done here. Pack your things. You're fired. The words hit her like a physical blow. Jessica stood frozen as the room fell silent. Her colleagues avoided eye contact, their expressions a mix of pity and discomfort. Now, he added, pointing toward the door. Humiliated and broken, Jessica gathered her belongings and walked out of the station for the last time. Tears streamed down her face as she made her way home, the weight of failure pressing down on her. She had no idea how she would pay the rent or keep food on the table for Alex. When she arrived at her apartment, Alex greeted her with his usual cheerful energy. Mama, you're home early. Jessica forced a smile. Yes, sweetheart. Mama has some free time now. Alex's smile faded as he studied her face. What's wrong? Jessica hesitated. How could she tell her son that she had failed? That the dream she had clung to for so long was slipping further away? I lost my job, she admitted quietly. Alex's eyes widened. They fired you? Why? Jessica sighed, kneeling to meet his gaze. Sometimes, people don't see what you're worth, no matter how hard you try. But it's okay. We'll figure it out. No, Mama, Alex said firmly. You're amazing. You're the best person I know. They're the ones who are wrong. His words brought fresh tears to Jessica's eyes, but this time, they weren't tears of sadness. Later that evening, her best friend, Sophia, called after hearing the news. Sophia had been Jessica's confidant since they met at an immigrant support group years ago. Jess, I'm so sorry, Sophia said. You didn't deserve this. I don't know what to do, Sophia, Jessica admitted. This city, this country, it feels like it's rejecting me at every turn. Maybe I should just go back home. You can't think like that, Sophia replied. You've worked too hard to give Alex a better life. You're stronger than this. But what now? I can't even keep a job, Jessica said, her voice trembling. Then maybe it's time to stop trying to fit into their mold, Sophia suggested. Why not do something that lets you be yourself? Jessica scoffed. Like what? I don't know, Sophia said. But you're talented, Jess, and people need to hear your story. The conversation lingered in Jessica's mind long after she hung up. She spent the night staring at her laptop, scrolling through job listings but finding nothing that felt right. Alex, sensing her restlessness, came to sit beside her. Mama, you always tell me to believe in myself, he said. Why don't you do the same? Jessica looked at her son, his innocent face filled with unwavering faith in her. A spark ignited within her, a tiny glimmer of hope. What if I fail again? She whispered. Alex grinned. Then you try again. That's what you always tell me, right? Jessica hugged him tightly, feeling a surge of determination. She didn't know what the future held, but she wasn't ready to give up just yet. Little did she know, Alex's words would inspire an idea that would change both their lives forever. The apartment was quiet except for the hum of Jessica's old laptop. She sat at the small kitchen table, scrolling through job boards and freelance opportunities. Nothing felt right. Every role seemed to require an unattainable mix of flawless English and a professional network she didn't have. Alex sat across from her, sketching superheroes in his notebook. Occasionally, he glanced at his mother, concern flickering in his eyes. Mama, he said suddenly, breaking the silence. Yes, sweetheart. Do you remember when we made that silly video for Grandma last year? The one where we cooked her favorite recipe and told her funny stories. Jessica chuckled, a faint smile appearing on her lips. Of course. She called me afterward and said we should start our own cooking show. Alex grinned. Why don't we? You always say you love being on camera, and you're so good at telling stories. Jessica paused, his words catching her off guard. A cooking show? On television? No, Alex said, shaking his head. On YouTube, lots of people have channels. We could make videos about our family and our culture, like how you always teach me things from back home. Jessica tilted her head, considering the idea. She had heard of people making money on YouTube, but the thought of putting herself out there, accent and all, terrified her. What if people laugh at me? She asked softly. Alex shrugged. Then we laugh with them. Who cares what they think? It's about having fun. Jessica stared at her son, amazed at his confidence. The idea was daunting, but it was also exciting. For the first time in weeks, she felt a spark of possibility. What would we even call it? She asked, her lips curving into a hesitant smile. Alex tapped his pencil against his notebook, deep in thought. How about Dream Family? Because we're chasing our dreams together. Jessica laughed, the sound light and genuine. Dream Family, huh? I like it. Over the next few days, Jessica threw herself into planning their first video. She borrowed Sophia's old camera and spent hours watching tutorials on video editing. Alex helped brainstorm ideas, suggesting they start with something simple, a recipe from their home country paired with a story about Jessica's childhood. The night before they were set to film, Jessica stood in front of the mirror, practicing her lines. Her reflection stared back, her voice faltering as she imagined the judgment of strangers. You've got this, Mama, Alex said from the doorway, startling her. Jessica turned to see him holding up a piece of paper with a hand-drawn logo for their channel. Dream Family, written in colorful letters, surrounded by stars. Tears welled up in her eyes as she hugged him. Thank you, Alex. I'll try my best. The next day, they transformed their tiny kitchen into a makeshift studio. Jessica wore her favorite apron, and Alex handled the camera, adjusting it like a professional director. Ready? Alex asked, giving her a thumbs up. Jessica took a deep breath, her hands trembling slightly. Ready. The camera's red light blinked on, and Jessica smiled nervously. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dream Family. I'm Jessica, and today we're going to make one of my favorite childhood recipes, tamales de pollo. But while we cook, I want to share a story about what this dish means to me. As she spoke, the words began to flow naturally. She told the story of her grandmother teaching her how to make tamales, weaving in memories of family gatherings and laughter. By the time she finished, Jessica felt an unexpected sense of pride. How did I do? She asked Alex after they stopped recording. You were amazing, Mama, he said, beaming. Everyone's going to love it. That night, they edited the video together, adding playful music and Alex's hand-drawn logo as the intro. When it was finally uploaded, Jessica felt a mixture of excitement and dread. Do you think anyone will watch it? She asked. Alex shrugged. Doesn't matter. We had fun, right? Jessica nodded, realizing he was right. For the first time in months, she felt a glimmer of joy. They went to bed that night, not knowing that the small spark they had ignited would soon become a roaring flame. The morning after uploading their first video, Jessica woke to the sound of Alex's excited voice echoing from the living room. Mama! Mama! Wake up! He shouted, his footsteps pounding against the wooden floor. Jessica groaned, pulling the blanket over her head. What is it, Alex? It's too early. No, Mama, you have to see this. Curious and slightly annoyed, Jessica dragged herself out of bed and followed Alex to the living room, where their laptop was propped open on the coffee table. He gestured wildly at the screen. Look, he said, grinning from ear to ear. Jessica squinted at the YouTube dashboard. Her heart skipped a beat when she saw the numbers. Their video had over 1,200 views, 100 likes, and a handful of comments. Is this real? She whispered, leaning closer. Alex nodded enthusiastically. It's real. People are watching us, Mama. Jessica scrolled through the comments, her hands trembling. Many were simple but encouraging. This is so heartwarming. More, please. Love the story and the cooking. Subscribed. Your accent is beautiful, Jessica. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Jessica's eyes filled with tears as she read the words of kindness. For the first time, strangers weren't mocking her. They were celebrating her. This is incredible, she said, her voice shaking. See, Mama? I told you people would love you, Alex said, practically bouncing with excitement. That day, they spent hours planning their next video. Jessica was eager to build on their momentum, and Alex's creativity seemed boundless. Let's do something fun next, Alex suggested. Maybe we can talk about your favorite holiday traditions and how we celebrate them. Jessica nodded. I like that idea. We can make Panch Navidino and share memories of Christmas back home. As they worked on the script, Sophia dropped by to visit. She had heard about the video and wanted to congratulate them. I knew you could do it, Sophia said, hugging Jessica tightly. This is just the beginning, Jess. I can feel it. Jessica smiled, but a part of her still doubted whether this success would last. She couldn't let herself hope too much. Not yet. Their second video, showcasing holiday traditions and the making of Panch Navidino, was filmed later that week. This time, Jessica felt more confident in front of the camera. She laughed and joked with Alex, letting her personality shine. When the video was uploaded, the response was even greater than before. Within days, their subscriber count doubled, and messages from viewers poured in. One comment stood out to Jessica. Thank you for sharing your story, Jessica. I've always been ashamed of my accent, but watching you inspires me to embrace who I am. Please keep making these videos. Jessica reread the comment several times, tears streaming down her cheeks. She had never imagined her voice, flawed and ridiculed for so long, could inspire someone else. Maybe this is what I was meant to do, she whispered to herself. Over the next few weeks, Dream Family began to grow steadily. Viewers connected with Jessica's warmth and authenticity, and Alex's energy added a playful charm to their videos. Their channel wasn't just about cooking or storytelling. It was about family, resilience, and embracing one's identity. Despite the growing popularity, Jessica still faced moments of doubt. The memory of her humiliation at the TV station lingered, and she couldn't shake the fear of being judged. But every time she uploaded a new video, the outpouring of love and support reminded her why she had started this journey. One night, as she checked their YouTube analytics, Jessica noticed something remarkable. They had reached 10,000 subscribers. "Alex!" she called, her voice shaking with excitement. Her son ran into the room, and when he saw the screen, he let out a loud cheer. "We did it, Mama! We're growing so fast!" Jessica hugged him tightly, her heart swelling with gratitude. She had never imagined this path, but now, it felt like the beginning of something extraordinary. For the first time in a long time, Jessica felt a glimmer of hope, not just for herself, but for the life she was building for Alex. Jessica's growing YouTube channel quickly became the talk of her small community. Neighbors who once barely acknowledged her in passing now stopped her on the street to share kind words. "I watched your latest video," Mrs. Patel from across the hall said one afternoon. "Your story about making tamales reminded me of my childhood in India. You're doing something really special." Jessica blushed, still unused to the attention. "Thank you, Mrs. Patel. That means a lot." Alex, who had been eavesdropping, grinned up at her. "Told you, Mama. You're a star." The validation was heartwarming, but Jessica knew they were still a long way from financial stability. The little ad revenue they earned from the channel helped, but it wasn't enough to cover their bills. Then, one evening, an email changed everything. Jessica was sitting at the kitchen table, editing their latest video, when a notification popped up on her screen. She opened the email cautiously, her eyes scanning the message. Subject: Sponsorship opportunity with Dream Family. Dear Jessica, I'm a representative from La Cocina Traditional, a company specializing in authentic cooking supplies. We've been following your channel and love what you're doing to celebrate culture and family. We'd like to discuss a potential sponsorship opportunity. Let us know if you're interested. Best regards, Amara Rodriguez. Brand manager. Jessica gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. "Alex, come here." Alex rushed over, his eyes wide. "What is it?" Jessica turned the screen toward him. "Look at this. A company wants to sponsor us." Alex read the email, his face lighting up. "Mama, this is huge. What are you going to say?" Jessica hesitated, her mind racing. The idea of working with a company was exciting, but it also felt intimidating. "I'll say yes," she decided, her voice firm. "We've worked so hard for this, Alex. It's time to take the next step." The following week, Jessica had her first ever business meeting, a video call with Amara Rodriguez. "Jessica," Amara said warmly, "your channel is such a breath of fresh air. We believe in your mission, and we'd love to support you. Our idea is simple. We'll provide your family with cooking supplies and a small stipend in exchange for featuring our products in your videos." Jessica's heart pounded as she listened. "That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for believing in us." Amara smiled. "No, thank you. Your authenticity is what makes your channel special. We're thrilled to be a part of it." When the call ended, Jessica sat in stunned silence, her mind replaying the conversation. For the first time, it felt like her dream was truly within reach. The sponsorship gave Jessica and Alex the resources they needed to elevate their channel. They upgraded their equipment, enhancing the video quality and introducing new elements like vibrant graphics and background music. They also began filming in different parts of the city, showcasing local markets and cultural events. Their audience grew rapidly. People from all over the world resonated with Jessica's journey and her unapologetic embrace of her accent. Comments flooded in. "I found your channel by accident, but I'm hooked. Keep inspiring us. Jessica, your stories remind me of my mom's. Thank you for sharing them. Your accent is part of your charm. Don't ever change it." Jessica began to realize that what she once saw as her biggest weakness, her accent, was actually her greatest strength point one day. While filming at a bustling outdoor market, Jessica noticed a woman watching her from a distance. The woman seemed familiar, but Jessica couldn't place her. "Excuse me," the woman said, approaching hesitantly. "Are you Jessica from Dream Family?" Jessica nodded, her cheeks flushing. "Yes, that's me." The woman smiled. "I'm Priya. I just wanted to say thank you. My daughter and I watch your videos every week. She struggles with her English, and your story has given her so much confidence." Jessica's throat tightened with emotion. "That means the world to me, Priya. Thank you for sharing that." As Priya walked away, Jessica felt a deep sense of purpose. Her channel wasn't just about cooking or storytelling. It was about making people feel seen and valued. That night, as she edited their latest video, Jessica paused to reflect. Her journey had been anything but easy, but every challenge had brought her to this moment. And she wasn't stopping here. Jessica's life had changed dramatically since she and Alex started Dream Family. Their subscriber count climbed past 100,000, and they received a silver play button from YouTube, a moment Alex insisted they unbox on camera for their audience. "This is all because of you, Mama," Alex said, holding the shiny plaque up for the camera. "No," Jessica said, her voice filled with emotion. "This is because of us. This is our dream, Alex." The unboxing video went viral, attracting even more viewers to their channel. Jessica's story resonated deeply, especially with immigrant families and people who had faced discrimination for being different. Her inbox was flooded with messages of gratitude and encouragement. Yet, even as her channel thrived, Jessica couldn't fully escape the shadows of her past point one afternoon. While grocery shopping with Alex, Jessica froze in the middle of the produce aisle. There, a few feet away, stood David, the director who had fired her. He was talking loudly on the phone, his sharp tone unmistakable. Jessica's heart raced as memories of her humiliating dismissal came flooding back. She wanted to turn and leave, but Alex, unaware of her discomfort, tugged at her arm. "Mama, we need tomatoes," he said. Jessica nodded stiffly, trying to steady her breathing. She moved toward the tomatoes, hoping David wouldn't notice her. "Jessica!" The voice made her stomach drop. She turned slowly, forcing a smile. "David," she said. Her voice strained. He looked surprised, then smug. "Wow, it's been a while. How's life treating you?" Jessica felt Alex's small hand slip into hers, grounding her. "I'm doing well," she replied simply. David's gaze flickered to Alex. "Is this your son? Cute kid." Jessica nodded, her jaw tightening. She didn't want to linger, but David wasn't done. "So, are you still trying to make it on TV?" he asked, his tone dripping with condescension. Jessica took a deep breath, summoning her courage. "Actually, I run a YouTube channel now. It's called Dream Family. We just passed 100,000 subscribers." David's smirk faltered. "Really? That's impressive." Jessica smiled, her confidence growing. "It is, and unlike my time at the station, I get to be myself. No one makes fun of my accent, and I get to inspire people every day." David opened his mouth, but Jessica didn't wait for him to respond. She turned to Alex. "Come on, sweetheart. Let's finish shopping." As they walked away, Jessica felt a mix of triumph and relief. For the first time, she had faced David without letting him diminish her. That evening, Jessica shared the encounter with Sophia over the phone. "You stood up to him? Jess, that's amazing," Sophia exclaimed. Jessica sighed. "It felt good, but it also brought back so many bad memories. He made me feel like I was nothing." "But look at you now," Sophia said. "You've built something incredible, Jess. Don't let him take that away from you." Jessica smiled, grateful for Sophia's unwavering support. The encounter with David became the spark for Jessica's next video. Sitting in front of the camera, she opened up about her past struggles, sharing the pain of being judged for her accent and the humiliation of losing her job. "But here's what I've learned," she said, her voice steady. "Your worth isn't defined by what others think of you. It's defined by how you see yourself and the courage to keep going, even when the world tries to silence you." The video struck a chord with viewers, quickly becoming one of their most watched uploads. Comments poured in. "Thank you for sharing this, Jessica. I needed to hear it today. You're an inspiration. Never let anyone dull your light. I've struggled with self-doubt my whole life. This video gave me hope." Jessica read the comments with tears in her eyes. The pain she had carried for so long was finally being transformed into something meaningful as Dream Family continued to grow. Jessica realized her journey wasn't just about finding success. It was about reclaiming her voice and helping others do the same. She had faced the shadows of her past, and now she was ready to step fully into the light. The buzz around Dream Family continued to grow, transforming Jessica and Alex's lives in ways they never imagined. Invitations to collaborate with other creators started pouring in, and sponsorship deals became a regular part of their discussions. But what surprised Jessica most was the sense of community their channel had built. One evening, as she prepared dinner, Jessica noticed a message from a viewer named Maria pop up in her inbox. The subject line read, "Thank you for giving me courage." Jessica clicked the email and began to read, "Dear Jessica, I've been following your channel for months, and I just wanted to thank you. Like you, I'm an immigrant, and I've always been ashamed of my accent. Watching you embrace yours with so much pride has inspired me to do the same. Last week, I finally applied for a teaching job I've been scared to pursue because of my English. I got the job. Your videos gave me the courage I needed. Please keep sharing your story." With gratitude, Maria Jessica's hands trembled as she reread the email. Tears blurred her vision, but she didn't care. "Mama!" Alex's voice broke her reverie. Jessica looked up to see her son standing in the doorway, his brow furrowed with concern. "Are you okay?" he asked. Jessica nodded, wiping her tears. "Yes, sweetheart. Sometimes I can't believe how many people our videos are helping." Alex grinned. "That's because you're awesome, Mama." Jessica laughed, pulling him into a hug. "No, we're awesome. This is our dream. Remember?" Inspired by Maria's message, Jessica decided to host a live Q&A session on their channel. She wanted to connect with their audience in a more personal way and create a space where people could share their own stories. The night of the live stream, Jessica sat nervously in front of the camera. Alex sat beside her, monitoring the chat. "Okay, here we go," Jessica said, taking a deep breath. The stream went live, and viewers poured in, their comments filling the chat box. "Hi from Brazil. So excited to be here. Jessica, you're my hero. Alex, you're the best cameraman ever." Jessica smiled, her nerves easing as she greeted her viewers. "Thank you all for joining us tonight," she began. "When we started this channel, we never imagined it would grow into such a supportive community. We're so grateful for each and every one of you." As the Q&A unfolded, viewers asked questions about everything from Jessica's favorite recipes to how she dealt with criticism. "How do you stay so confident?" one viewer asked. Jessica paused, choosing her words carefully. "Confidence doesn't come naturally to me," she admitted. "There were times when I felt like my voice didn't matter because of my accent. But I've learned that our differences are what make us unique. If we embrace who we are, we can inspire others to do the same." The chat exploded with supportive messages, and Jessica felt a warmth in her chest that she couldn't put into words. Near the end of the stream, a comment caught her attention. "Jessica, have you ever thought about hosting a community event? We'd love to meet you in person." Jessica blinked, taken aback by the suggestion. She glanced at Alex, who nodded excitedly. "That's a wonderful idea," she said. "We'll have to think about how to make it happen. But I'd love to meet all of you someday." The idea stayed with Jessica long after the live stream ended. In the weeks that followed, Jessica and Alex worked tirelessly to organize their first ever Dream Family community event. They chose a local park as the venue and invited viewers to join them for a day of cooking demonstrations, storytelling, and cultural celebrations. When the day finally arrived, Jessica was overwhelmed by the turnout. Hundreds of people showed up, some traveling from out of town just to meet her. "Mama," Alex whispered, tugging at her sleeve, "look at all these people. They're here because of us." Jessica's eyes filled with tears as she scanned the crowd. She spotted families, children, and even elderly couples, all smiling and chatting as they waited for the event to begin. The day was a resounding success. Jessica shared her favorite recipes, Alex ran a booth where kids could draw their own dream family logos, and Sophia helped organize a storytelling circle where attendees shared their own journeys. By the end of the day, Jessica felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Today was incredible, she said to Alex as they packed up. It's just the beginning, Mama, Alex replied with a grin. That night, Jessica posted a video recapping the event, thanking their community for their unwavering support as she watched the video gain traction. Jessica realized that Dream Family had become something far bigger than she had ever envisioned. It wasn't just a channel, it was a movement. Jessica's life felt like a whirlwind after the success of the Dream Family community event. New subscribers flocked to their channel, inspired by the energy and joy of the gathering. Opportunities were pouring in, collaborations with other creators, more sponsorship deals, and even an invitation to speak at a conference about diversity and representation in media. But amid all the excitement, Jessica found herself haunted by an unresolved chapter of her life. Every time she walked past her old apartment complex, memories of her eviction surfaced, bringing with them a sting of humiliation and loss. One afternoon, as she strolled through the neighborhood with Alex, they passed the building. The sight of it made Jessica stop in her tracks. Mama, Alex looked up at her, confused. What's wrong? Jessica stared at the building, her chest tightening. This was where we lived before, she said quietly. Before everything fell apart. Alex looked at the building, his face serious. The place where they kicked us out? Jessica nodded. It wasn't just losing the apartment, Alex. Felt like I lost a part of myself. I was so ashamed back then. I thought I'd failed us. Alex slipped his hand into hers. But you didn't, Mama. Look at us now. Jessica smiled, his words giving her a flicker of comfort. But she knew there was something she needed to do, something that had been lingering in her heart for too long. The next day, Jessica made a decision. She reached out to the landlord of her old apartment complex, a man named Mr. Gregson, to schedule a meeting. When the day arrived, Jessica dressed carefully, choosing an outfit that exuded confidence. Alex insisted on coming with her, and she was secretly glad for his support. Mr. Gregson greeted them in his office, looking slightly surprised to see Jessica. Jessica, he said, extending his hand. It's been years. What brings you here? Jessica shook his hand firmly. I wanted to discuss the apartment complex. I understand it's for sale. Mr. Gregson's eyebrows shot up. That's correct. But I wasn't expecting you to be interested. Jessica smiled, her nerves steadied by Alex's presence. I've built something meaningful in my life, Mr. Gregson, and now I'd like to buy the building. The room fell silent for a moment. Mr. Gregson blinked, clearly taken aback. You want to buy the whole complex? He asked. Yes, Jessica said, her voice unwavering. I want to turn it into a space where people like me, immigrants, single parents, anyone who's ever felt judged or overlooked, can feel safe and supported. Mr. Gregson leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. That's an admirable goal, Jessica. Let's discuss terms. The negotiations were challenging, but Jessica was determined. With the help of her growing income from Dream Family and the support of her sponsors, she managed to secure the funds to purchase the building. When the deal was finalized, Jessica felt an overwhelming mix of emotions: pride, relief, and a sense of closure she hadn't realized she needed. On the day she officially took ownership of the building, Jessica invited her family, friends, and a few members of the Dream Family community to celebrate. As she stood in front of the building, holding the keys. In her hand, she addressed the crowd. This building was once a place of pain for me, she began, her voice steady. But today, it becomes a place of hope, a place where people can rebuild just like I did. This is proof that no matter how hard life gets, we have the power to rise above it. The crowd erupted in applause, and Jessica felt tears streaming down her face. Alex hugged her tightly. You did it, Mama. You turned our worst memory into something amazing. Jessica kissed the top of his head. We did it, Alex. This is our dream, and it's just the beginning. The transformation of the building became a new focus for Jessica and Dream Family. They documented the renovations, turning it into a series on their channel. Each episode showcased the process of creating affordable, welcoming apartments for families in need, complete with community spaces and resources. Viewers were captivated, and the series quickly became one of their most popular. Jessica's story of reclaiming her past and turning it into a beacon of hope resonated deeply, inspiring countless others to confront their own struggles and find strength in their journeys. The buzz around Jessica's renovation project grew beyond her expectations. News outlets began reaching out, intrigued by the story of a once-evicted single mother who had returned to buy and transform her old apartment complex into a haven for others. One morning, as Jessica was reviewing design plans for the building's community kitchen, her phone buzzed with a notification from an unfamiliar number. "Hello, this is Jessica," she answered. "Good morning, Ms. Hernandez," a cheerful voice replied. "This is Clara Johnson from Good Morning Today. We've been following your incredible story and would love to feature you on our show." Jessica froze, the name of the show echoing in her mind. It was one of the top morning programs in the country, the kind of platform she had once dreamed of being on when she worked at the TV station. "Are you still there?" Clara asked, breaking Jessica's daze. Yes, I'd be honored," Jessica replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "Wonderful! We'll send over the details. We're looking forward to sharing your story with the world." The news of Jessica's upcoming TV appearance electrified her family and friends. Alex was especially excited, already brainstorming video ideas for their channel about the experience. "Mama, we should do a behind-the-scenes vlog," he said. "People will love seeing what it's like for you to go on TV." Jessica chuckled, ruffling his hair. "We'll see, Alex. Let me survive the interview first." But beneath her excitement, Jessica felt a pang of anxiety. Memories of her humiliating dismissal from her old job crept back, reminding her of how unkind the industry could be. "Don't let them get to you," Sophia said during one of their late-night phone calls. "You've already proven yourself. Just be the Jessica we all know and love." Jessica smiled, grateful for her friend's unwavering support. The day of the interview arrived, and Jessica found herself sitting in the green room of the Good Morning Today studio. Alex sat beside her, holding her hand for support. "You look amazing, Mama," he said, beaming. Jessica glanced at her reflection in a nearby mirror. She had chosen a simple yet elegant outfit that made her feel confident. "Thank you, sweetheart," she said, squeezing his hand. That a production assistant entered the room, signaling that it was time. Jessica took a deep breath and followed them to the set. The host, a warm and charismatic woman named Rachel, greeted Jessica with a genuine smile as the cameras rolled. "Welcome to Good Morning Today, Jessica. Your story has touched so many hearts, including mine. Tell us, how did this incredible journey begin?" Jessica hesitated for only a moment before diving into her story. She spoke about her struggles as an immigrant, the ridicule she faced for her accent, and the crushing experience of being fired from her job. "But I didn't let those experiences define me," she continued. "With the support of my son, Alex, and our incredible community, I found a way to turn my pain into purpose." Rachel nodded, visibly moved. "And now, you're not only running a wildly successful YouTube channel, but also giving back in such a meaningful way. What inspired you to take on the apartment renovation project?" Jessica smiled. "I wanted to reclaim a part of my past that once represented failure and turn it into something beautiful. A place where people can feel safe and valued, no matter their background." The audience erupted into applause, and Jessica felt a surge of pride. After the interview, Jessica returned to the green room to find Alex grinning from ear to ear. "You were amazing, Mama," he said, throwing his arms around her. "Thank you, Alex. I couldn't have done it without you," she replied, hugging him tightly as they left the studio. Jessica's phone buzzed with notifications, messages of support, new subscribers, and offers from organizations wanting to collaborate on similar projects. That evening, Jessica and Alex filmed a video reflecting on the experience. "I used to think my accent was a weakness," Jessica said, looking directly into the camera. "But today, I stood on a national stage and shared my story. If I can do it, so can you. Embrace who you are. because that's where your true strength lies. The video went viral within hours, sparking a wave of similar stories from viewers who had overcome their own struggles. Jessica realized that her journey was far from over. She had found her voice, but now, her mission was to amplify the voices of others, including you who is watching now. Jessica's story is a powerful reminder that success is not just about achieving external goals, but about the internal transformation we undergo along the way. It's about shedding the fear of judgment, embracing our true selves, and using our experiences to uplift others. In a world that often tells us to conform, Jessica's journey teaches us that authenticity is the greatest gift we can offer the world. It is in embracing our unique voices, in overcoming adversity, and in lifting others as we rise, that we find our true power. In part 2 of the story, you will see how Dream Family transformed into Dream Voices and continues to grow. And as Jessica's influence continues to touch countless lives, her story will stand as a timeless example of hope, perseverance, and the profound impact of believing in yourself and your ability to make a difference. Remember, Jessica grew fast due to the support she got from subscribers and her YouTube channel community. So, this is your turn to support us. Please subscribe, like, and share what you have learned in the comment section. Don't forget to share this story on your social media platforms, as this will help people to believe in themselves and their unique abilities to make a difference in their generation. Thank you for watching.